And today, more than 2 million men of the Knights of Columbus continue to advance Father Michael McGivney's legacy and mission here in America and across the world. Carl Anderson, Supreme Knight of the Knights of Columbus, joins me now on Skype. Carl, welcome back. Always so good to see you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for the invitation.
Well, Father McGivney's cause for sainthood was opened in the Archdiocese of Hartford back in 1997, and he is now one step closer to that. What does his beatification represent? And personally, what does this moment mean to you?
Well, it represents, of course, great encouragement for the Church in the United States and all the countries the Knights of Columbus is in, for sure, as well as the 2 million members of the Knights of Columbus that our founder now is going to be known as Blessed after the beatification ceremony. For me, Father McGivney's been a great inspiration and encouragement, and I've relied on his intercession many times. I have to say, you know, being Supreme Knight for 20 years, I have to thank Father McGivney for keeping me making some mistakes, I suppose, along the way. So it's a very joyful time for all of us.
Yeah, indeed. The miracle recognizes coming through Father McGivney's intercession. It involves the unborn son of a knight. The baby was healed in utero of a life-threatening condition after prayers by his family to Father McGivney back in 2015. And we're happy to say that little boy is now 5 years old. What an incredibly powerful message of healing and hope.
Well, I think so. You know, the doctors saw the condition of the child and said, look, you have really two options. One is abortion, and the other is to deliver a dead child. The family wouldn't take either of those answers for a final answer. So they went on a pilgrimage to Fatima, along with many other Knights of Columbus, prayed intensely, came back from the pilgrimage. 4 days later, they had an ultrasound, and the baby was cured. So fantastic miracle, and especially for Knights of Columbus, because it's a Knight of Columbus family. The father is actually one of our insurance agents. And we've done so much with Special Olympics, with children with Down syndrome, and here's a child with Down syndrome healed. We have this ultrasound program that over 1,100 ultrasounds throughout the United States, which we think have prevented 1 million abortions in crisis pregnancy centers. And so from a pro-life perspective, a Knights of Columbus perspective, helping the handicapped perspective, it was all a tremendous miracle for us, really.
Well, as the founder of the Knights of Columbus, Father McGivney's legacy really continues to thrive. Can you tell us about some of the ways that his vision continues to help the world and also advance the Catholic faith?
Well, you know, Father McGivney's overriding concern was to keep the members of his parish, the families of his parish, Catholic, and keep them from leaving the church. So many men at the time were leaving to join anti-Catholic secret societies. So Knights of Columbus was an answer to that. And then many families were being broken up in the death of the breadwinner, the widow and orphan. If they couldn't prove to a court that they had the financial resources to continue, often the children were taken from the mother and put into foster homes. And many of those were not Catholic. So let's keep our Catholic families Catholic, keep them active in the parish, number one. Number two, you know, this was a time when Catholics were very much a subject of prejudice, discrimination, and we could have very easily sought to become ghettoized, you know, retreat, become insular. Father McGivney said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to project Catholic influence in society by the activity of our laity, our laymen, and we were going to do it on the principles of charity, unity, and fraternity. And soon patriotism added to that, that you can be a faithful Catholic and also a good American citizen. So those were some of the objectives that Father McGivney had in mind. And I think there was one more objective that Father McGivney had. You know, during the 19th century, America was mission territory for the Catholic Church. And I think Father McGivney had a missionary spirit, a missionary mission as a parish priest. So we think of him as an ideal model as a parish priest, but he also saw his work as a missionary work. And so this idea of being a witness, and for the men and women of his parish to also be witnesses in their life is a very important part of the Knights of Columbus. We may not all be able to be on news programs or to write beautiful essays or homilies, but we can all make a witness to the truth of our Catholic faith and the value of our Catholic faith by the lives we lead. And so here's Father McGivney creating a kind of a path of discipleship around the values of charity, unity, and fraternity, and it's served us well for nearly a century and a half now.
Well, Carl, thank you so much for coming on and speaking with us today. We really appreciate it. Carl Anderson, Supreme Knight of the Knights of Columbus. Thank you again.
Thank you.